Welcome to the messy middle of entrepreneurship, unfiltered and unapologetic. Uncensored Entrepreneurs, hosted by Starr Codd, Robert Wall, and Tina Torres-Wilson, brings you real stories from the trenches of building a business. Those late nights, hard lessons, big wins, and everything in between. This is where the truth about entrepreneurship lives. No fluff, no filters, just raw, honest conversations with founders who have lived it. So, if you're over the highlight reel and you're ready for the real deal, hit play. No filters, no apologies. Welcome back to season 2 of the Uncensored Entrepreneurs, the podcast where real stories spark real growth. I'm Robert Wall, joined by my powerhouse co-hosts, Tina Torres-Wilson and Starr Codd. And today, we're diving in deeper into why the show even exists, why the world needs Uncensored now more than ever, and what it really takes to build a business without selling your soul.
We need like the bombs.
Yeah, that's right.
We are back and better than ever.
Yeah, season 2, right? Man, this is so exciting. And we've been talking about it for a while. For those that have actually already been following us, we've been saying we're going to be on all kinds of podcast channels. And we've got all this new launch of the brand, and we've got a production.
We're like, yeah.
Right?
When is this all happening?
It's happening. It's coming to fruition. This is it.
Finally.
So I'm really excited. And what a perfect way for those, though, that have absolutely no idea who Uncensored is, to tell them a little bit more, just expanding on the fact of like why this show even exists, who we are, and what things are we currently working on, and who are we looking for future programs. So Tina, this is you, girl, all day long, because I know that you were the one that had the vision and you reached out to Starr and I. So tell us a little bit about all of that.
Well, okay, so obviously I'm Tina Torres-Wilson. New last name, if any of you guys have noticed. I just got married 2 months ago. Can you believe that it was a little over 2 years ago that I've reached out to both of you?
No.
I think right before we went live, didn't I say, the show's been like already going for a year and a half? You're like, Rob, almost 2.5 years. So
like we did our first show on May 1st of 2023.
Wow.
And the reason why I wanted to do this show was because during COVID, I started my own talk show, and it was a morning talk show. We did it every morning. And after COVID started, I was like, we still need something. I need something. And, me being an almost 50-year-old woman and being friends with so many high leaders in the industry and coaches in the industry, I got a lot of people telling me things like in the back end, oh my gosh, Tina, I don't know what's going on, or this is happening, when you think that they have all their together, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, like these people really don't. They're struggling like I am. But I'm seeing all of their highlight reels, like the champagne launches and the perfect desk aesthetic. And I'm, seeing all this stuff. And I'm thinking that they are just living the high life when they too are struggling. And I'm like, there's got to be something. I want to put something out there where an entrepreneur can watch something or watch or listen to a podcast and see the real, raw, and unplugged version of being an entrepreneur. Being a wife and a mom and an entrepreneur at the same time, the struggles with that. Being a dad and a husband and the struggles with that. Having your whole entire business stop all of a sudden in one day and the struggles with that.
The pivot.
Having the mom guilt and the menopause and, all of the stuff that we all don't talk about up front. And
that's true.
Instead of just putting that highlight reel, and I'm like, who can I talk to? And immediately I thought of Robert, because him and I have been really good friends for the last couple of years. And I'm like, he's an amazing guy. And I wanted like a array of people, married, single, different ethnicity, different types of people. And so I reached out to Robert. He was married. He had kids. He had blended families. So, he can
been through some shit.
A lot of stuff. And you're kind of working and juggling a few things in your life. And then immediately I thought of Starr Codd. I was like, oh my gosh, she is an amazing powerhouse who, has this group. It has like 100,000 people on it. I think at the time it wasn't even 100,000. Now it's 350,000 people in this freaking group.
Starr, seriously, slow down a little bit. Your stretch goals are making Tina and I feel a little, a little inferior.
But even then, I reached out to Starr, and her and I were friends, but we weren't like really good friends. And over the last 2.5 years, like I've gotten to know Starr, and I know her struggles now. But I'm like, oh my gosh, she's an amazing. But she struggles just like you and I do. We all struggle, even if we're making 6, 7, 8 figures a year. We are all going through the same thing.
It's the hero's journey, right? Each and every one of us go through this
Uncensored Entrepreneurs, real, raw, and unplugged. And we all like to curse a little. We love Jesus, but we curse a little.
Well, and here's the thing, again, like those are the real things. When you talked about that, so often, and I'll just share a little glimpse, you'll hear our stories over these next few episodes, but I'll tell you that whenever I felt as an entrepreneur of many years in my business, when I was going through some things, right, when I reached those dark moments and experiencing some loss and trauma, you feel like not only does it just knock the wind out of your own sails, but you feel as though I'm not worthy to give advice or help others. And so you start having this conflict, right? This conflict where it's like, am I even worthy in this broken state to serve?
You get that imposter syndrome.
Yeah, exactly. Of self, of like who we even used to be.
Like, how am I going to give somebody advice on doing this when I can't even do this myself?
Absolutely. But I will tell you, and we'll expand on this in other episodes, but in your broken state, you're even more qualified to help those that can actually relate to your journey. We're in an age of curated content. And everyone out there, as Tina said earlier, they're showing 15 seconds of their best self online. And this show, by the way, won't be this isn't just going to be doom and gloom, right? We're very authentic and transparent in the stories that we will be sharing and the people that we'll have on our show. But we're letting you know that you too can break through the storm and come out on the other end. And that's what the show is all about.
Yeah. The reason we wanted to bring this podcast forward is also because entrepreneurs are oftentimes very alone. I remember building my business through the ups and downs, the big massive wins, and also the big major blows and falls. And I was not an online entrepreneur. I was actually running brick and mortar. So I didn't have connections with other entrepreneurs that were succeeding or having failures. And so being judged by family and friends, like, oh, this person is making all this money, or being able to talk about the fact that I'm going through this massive IRS audit or whatever could be stressing me out at the time. Nobody can relate to that. They don't understand those stories and situations. So I feel like having a podcast where people can relate to us and see the pain, the trauma, the joys, the ups, the downs, and be able to relate to that and walk away and apply that to their own lives and feel like they are okay.
Ooh, that is so true. I'm really excited about this season. Some of the guests that we've had before that were just real impactful and powerful, but we have a whole new lineup. And what I love about having a production team now, So True Media, I'll just give a little plug out there. Yeah, is that they're going to be introducing us also to a whole nother group of people that we haven't had on the show. We have no contact with. And that's what really excites us. So I'm just throwing it out there one more time. If this resonates with you and you're excited about the synergy, the energy that we're putting out, and you'd like to be on the show, please connect with the information that you see below on the podcast and on YouTube. And we would love to get you set up as a guest on our show.
Yeah. And I kind of want them to know that we're all figuring it out. Even us, we have a little chat ourselves and we're like, this and this and this is going on. What do you guys think? Just like you guys all have your business coaches or your best friends. But like with me, some of my friends are not entrepreneurs. So it's hard for them to understand, or even my family. My dad was just here and he was like, so what do you do all day? Not really much. And I'm like, what? I'm like, what? I work from home.
What don't I do?
Crazy. And we're not just like 10 steps to overnight success, right? Like it's taken us long time to get to where we are. And sometimes we've had to take a step back in order to take a step forward. And so when you guys are all thinking that, oh my God, they have all their shit together, yada, yada, just know that we really don't. Sometimes we are flying by the seat of our pants, and sometimes we're like, wait, what's going on? And, we have to,
What day is it? What day is it?
mostly time when we do, wait, what's going on? What do we have today?
Yeah,
But,
yeah, absolutely.
and it's so hard to be an entrepreneur these days too, because you want to do everything. You want to be a part of everything, especially now when everybody's talking about multiple streams of income. So you want to have different things coming in, but then you also have to focus on one thing. So what do? You focus on this thing, or you focus on all the things and multiple streams of income, or what streams of income, so it's so complicated. And we are here. We want to be your like entrepreneurial best friend that you can kind of come and go through our podcast list. And you know what? I'm having trouble finding time to balance work and life. And Robert can talk about that. I'm having trouble to figure out my kids and working my brick and mortar business. Starr Codd is going to be all about that. I'm having trouble, with whatever else, and having the motivation to do so. And we just want you to know that we are here for you as our listeners, you as our audience. We're here for you. If there's something that you want to talk about, let us know. Reach out to any of us, put it in comment, review, whatever. So we can talk about that, because if you're going through it, one of us has gone through it already.
Absolutely. If we ourselves aren't, by the way, for those that are just, going to be getting to know us through this journey, each one of us are coaches as well, right? So we work with clients on a regular basis. And so if we ourselves have not experienced some of the topics and the root causes of things that you'd like to discuss, we have clients or colleagues that are going through that. And so we want to make sure we connect you with a support group, because it is so essential. This show, especially season 2, more than ever before, it's time to normalize the messy middle, right? We're going to be celebrating all the times you have to pivot, all the times that you've failed or had some setbacks and you have to continue to move forward, or restarts in your business. And we have found that the best way to actually overcome all of these things over years of experience that we bring to this show is because of our collaboration. It's not just our own individual journey, but it's the fact that we've understood how, when we ourselves cannot move forward, to hold hands and lock in with people just like this, and to build your circle and to connect with the right audience. And so, if anything, I hope that we can deliver that to you. Mindset is so crucial. And in these last 5 years, we have seen so many businesses and entrepreneurs completely quit on their dreams because of all of the fear and
right, like
around us. Yeah.
especially like when the big C came through and everybody had a pivot, and we all went straight to the Zoom, and hours and hours and hours on Zoom, and then it stopped, and you're like, okay, what next? But for any of you guys going through anything, you guys are wanting to start your business, stop your business, pivot your business, whatever it is, we have a huge audience that we can connect you to. If there's anything that you want to ask us, or have questions about, or need help with your business about, if us 3 cannot help you, we will find somebody who can.
I hope you're enjoying this conversation. Before we continue, one thing I hear all the time, especially in the early stages of building a business, is how exhausting it is trying to manage everything on your own. I remember feeling like I had a dozen tabs open in my brain at all times. That's exactly what inspired me to create She Has Clients, an all-in-one sales and marketing platform for entrepreneurs who want to grow their business without patching together a million tools. If that sounds like what you need, you can learn more at shehasclients.com. Now let's get back to the conversation.
We're talking right now in this episode 1, as we're lining up some amazing guests, why Uncensored is the conversation that entrepreneurs need to be having, especially now more than ever. And so, Starr, if you don't mind me just throwing it your way first, why does this show fit you? Aside from the fact that we are co-hosts.
And aside from the fact that Tina Torres pretty much made you do it.
Yeah, twisted our arm to get out there and do this. Like, where do you see you, your business, your clients really fitting into the things that we'll be talking about?
I think the biggest thing is that so many entrepreneurs quit, or people have this vision that they want to become an entrepreneur, but they don't actually take action on it. And I also believe in time freedom and financial freedom. That's a big thing for me, especially for women, through entrepreneurship. That's
Mm.
my journey, my story, and I know it's possible for so many. When you work at corporate America, I don't care what anyone says, there's going to be a ceiling that you hit. When you're an entrepreneur, you can actually tap into unlimited income beyond your wildest dreams. What happens is they have issues, so they quit, right? And so, what I really recommend is to tune into the show, stay committed to your passion and your dream and what it is that you want to do. People will go to college, they'll get degrees, they put all this time into getting that career off the ground, but you don't want to put in all that time into building a business. I really want people to shift their mindset and really push forward with it, because this is actually the ultimate goal for that freedom that you dream of.
I love it. I think we could end right there. No, but that is so true. That is so true. Tina, how about yourself? I mean, other than just knowing that you wanted to push it out there. And by the way, before we continue on, Starr, tell everyone the name of your brand and business aside from Uncensored Entrepreneurs.
And a little bit about what you do.
So I do mentor other entrepreneurs because I know their stuck points and their pain points. And I've done an amazing job at community building, and that is the key to success. And currently I work with business owners with my brand. She has clients in building automations and systems to streamline their lead generation process, as well as close more sales for their business with customers and or clients.
Perfect. How about yourself, Tina?
Well, for me, I think with me, I've seen so many people seeing all those highlight reels, right? And for me, I kept seeing all of it and comparing myself. I'm not good enough. There's no way I can be a coach. There's no way I can do this. There's no way I can do that. And when I started seeing all the people who behind the scenes were having the same like issue, I was like, okay, there's got to be something. And so that's the reason why we started Uncensored Entrepreneurs. But for me and my business, I teach women how to share their story with the world. I teach
love it.
them how to put it into a book and then learn how to monetize it, because your story matters. No matter if you think that you have a crappy story or you're like, oh, well, I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth, nothing ever happened to me. No, you still have a story.
Everyone has a journey.
Exactly. And everyone does have a journey, and your story matters, and your story can change so many women. And one thing that I have always told all of my clients, and they'll tell you this, is even if you write this book or share your story with the world, if it just helped one person, wouldn't it be worth it?
Ooh, so true. And you know this because you've experienced it, right? Like journaling and continuously putting the story that you didn't want to tell others, right? Putting that on paper has been transformational for you. And then you're able to transfer that on to others. And what's the name of your brand, Tina? Just so that
Pink Door Marketing Agency is my business. And I help women entrepreneurs write their story and become best-selling authors. So I have publishing on one side of the business and marketing on the other side. So I own a marketing agency as well. But the publishing side is the biggest side that I love to do and I love to help people with. So, when as a woman entrepreneur, you have a story, and I'm here to help you get that story out to the world, but then also share that story with all of your audience and then monetize it. Put it into a course, put it into a group coaching program, because people are going to relate to you. People don't work with you because of your products or services. They work with you because they relate to you. So sharing your story is a huge factor in your business. No matter if you have a good story or bad story. I mean, you guys all have heard my story, that I've lost everything. I became empty nester. I got a divorce after 20 years to a narcissist, lost a 6-figure income job, was homeless, like all of that. And hearing that story, they're like, oh my gosh, you have the story like me, and I want to work with you. Just like when your clients want to work with you, Robert, and same with you, Starr, like they hear your story and then now you're relatable.
Yeah, because it resonates, right? It resonates. And when you feel like you're not on an island all alone, as Starr said earlier.
You get me.
That's right. That's right. Oh, that is so awesome. Well, I'll tell you just a quick little bit about myself. And by the way, you're going to hear a lot more from all of us on future episodes. We'll even come on the show as guests, so that you can really just feel some more depth about what we've been through, our journey, and how it relates to the show as a whole. But I'm Robert Wall. As I stated earlier, I'm an entrepreneur and branding strategist and the founder of the Branding Collaborative. I started the Branding Collaborative because I was tired of watching people build brands that didn't feel like the true them. And so now with this show, Uncensored Entrepreneurs, and many other platforms and opportunities, I'm bringing that same exact mission, helping people kind of cut through the fluff, ditch all the filters, and really build that place of alignment. And so why do I think that this show is a perfect fit for me and my clients and my audience? When you reached out, Tina, we talked a great deal about this like months before the show even started, right? I have felt that in personal branding, it's really been hijacked over the years by performance. And what I mean by that is if you're not doing certain things, you're not showing up a certain way, if you're not polished and able to put those things out in the forefront, then people assume that you're not building a business and that you're quote unquote, labeled as success. But success comes in many, many different forms. So real branding, it starts with alignment. I talk a great deal about heart set, mindset, and soul set. And those three things coming into alignment, you'll hear me say this over and over and over again, because most people, when they come to me, and I know Starr and Tina, the first thing that they always ask is, can you help me with my marketing and my products and services? And those things are extremely important, right? Those are the bread and butter of actually like creating income and being in business. But I find that most people jump from product to product, service to service, business model to business model, because they're not in true alignment with themselves, the things that they need to learn to overcome certain obstacles that they've had in life. And they've been just pulling those things, right? From year after year, pulling that trauma into the next business, into the next model. And they assume that it's products and services that are always holding them back. But in most cases, it starts with alignment. And then once you've done that, you need to make sure that when your passion and your purpose is truly aligned with the products and services that you're involved with, that you're reaching the right audience. And so that's what the Branding Collaborative helps you with. I'm so excited to be working with these two amazing ladies, because together it's like, this is a dynamo. I mean, I really felt like for many years, as you said, Starr, earlier, when you're a solopreneur, even though you have teams and some collaborations, you're sitting there so often kind of in your thoughts.
Yeah.
We know that you are your own worst coach. We're pointing fingers, by the way. So when I say that, if I was only coaching myself through each and every problem or obstacle that I had in life, I'm going to probably get some of the same results over and over again if I'm not aligning myself with amazing people like Tina and Starr and many others that we work with. And you'll have an opportunity to meet many of them on this show. So I'm super pumped up, super excited.
So excited about season 2.
Yeah.
This is really like my whole vision for Uncensored Entrepreneurs, I feel, is finally coming to fruition. And Robert, what you said, many of you guys have known that I was the gratitude specialist for many years. And even though that it aligned with me at that time, I had to pivot my business. And now that heart set is in full mode. I know my purpose in business now. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And even if I have the slightest, like, oh my God, am I still doing the right thing? Like one of my clients are like,
we're always going to have that though, Tina, right? I mean,
like my book just helped me get a $20,000 deal. And I'm like, oh, I know I'm in the right thing. So having that and pivoting your business, we're here for it all. So no matter where you're coming from or what you're doing in your life, we are going to be like your business coach that you guys can come to like with anything. You're having menopause issues, then we're the person. I need my husband to understand me being an entrepreneur, then we have that. We have how you're going to balance your work-life balance. Like we have every subject that you're going to want to listen to or have trouble with. Like as you're working out, you're walking, whatever you're doing, watching or binge listening to Uncensored Entrepreneurs is going to be the thing that you're going to want to do, because we're going to have every subject on here. How we're going to be able to help you through your business.
And we've all done an incredible job of helping people get massive wins in their business, both financially as well as managing their company, building teams. We've all done this. So when you listen to our show, there's going to always be takeaways, and 2 key takeaways that Robert and Tina shared. I kind of want to dive in a little bit further. Tina, you were talking about them being able to package their expertise, really is what you were saying, right? So when I first started my beauty business, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was like, I want to start a company. I'm not sure what I'm going to sell. And oftentimes like we'll sit there trying to think about an entrepreneurship journey, whether it be a product, for years sometimes. All you have to do is package your expertise and start selling transformation. You can do that today.
Yeah.
And Robert, you talked about that branding. And oftentimes, again, people do have to pivot. We've all had successful businesses, even into the 7 figures, that have maybe changed. Things have changed to where we have to work on other things.
Your family dynamic even changes, and you got to change things.
Of course, Robert and I have lost a child as well.
Yeah.
These are very emotional things that we've gone through. But with that pivot, with that brand that you talk about, Robert, you're always going to be someone that people can invest in regardless of what you're selling.
Yeah.
That's it. And that again is why products and services are important, but they're secondary, right? Building that know, like, and trust, especially in today's digital space, when most of us haven't ever met our clients face to face, right?
An interesting fact.
Yeah.
Okay, Robert and I have known each other, and we've met in person. In fact, we haven't go across the country to meet each other, that we were only 2 hours away, but that's another story.
Yep.
Starr and Robert and me have not met in person.
I know, but we hopefully are going to change that. And maybe in 2025, we'll see. We've got some things coming up.
But if there's anything that has ever if I needed anything, you and Starr would be the first 2 people I would call. Hey, who do you know? Or, hey, I'm having trouble, or, hey, I'm struggling with this. And we help each other. So having those people in your life, you're going to need those too. So we hope we're those people for you here at Uncensored Entrepreneurs. And we just hope that season 2 is going to bring you everything that you wanted.
Very excited. Tune in. Again, you'll see some things releasing on YouTube from our production company. And then also you'll find us on Spotify and Apple. So all your favorite playlists. We hope that you like and share our program.
And write a review. Do a 5-star review. Put a couple things down there.
Yeah, and we're looking for the feedback, right? Again, we want to make sure that we're bringing you the best energy, the best topics that are helping you get one step closer to that breakthrough that you were intended to have in life. So
and if there's a subject out there that you're struggling with, automation, delegation, whatever it is, let us know, because let me tell you, between the 3 of us, we can talk about pretty much anything.
That's right. Or we know the right people.
Or we can find somebody.
So that's our very first episode in season 2. And in speaking of bringing some of the best people to you, let's talk about the lineup. We've got some old releases that are going to be launching. So you'll see that on the platform as well.
Season 1 is going to be all released.
Season 1 will be all over the place, right? Yep. And with season 2, we have some of our legacy guests that will be popping in. Next week, we're going to be sitting down with the one and only Jordan Adler.
Beach Money himself.
Beach Money himself, the author of Beach Money. If you've never heard of it, he's built a life of freedom, built businesses that thrive even without him. And he's coming in hot with real talk on vision, momentum, and building a brand that funds your lifestyle and it doesn't drain it. So we're looking forward to that.
In a business, he's had to pivot multiple times.
Yes.
His business.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we'll see you next week on another episode, season 2 of the Uncensored Entrepreneurs.
Woo-hoo! Season 2, baby.
Thanks for listening to the Uncensored Entrepreneurs. If you're getting value from the show, take a minute to rate, subscribe, and leave a review wherever you tune in. It helps more bold entrepreneurs find us. Until next time, keep showing up, uncensored and unapologetic. And we'll catch you on the next episode.